So the short bias, it was very, very clear, and that's why I had so much confidence in this trade. If you take a look at yesterday, you can see TDI clearly telling us to sell it from yesterday into last night into even today. Clearly it's short biased, and that's why I wanted to start this video early today at 4:19 so you guys could see that I'm in the trade now, see that the stop is locked now, and then I'm going to leave this thing alone. This could fall all day. Just because it's oversold here, just because it's coming down a little bit, that does not mean that it's stopped. That does not mean that it's done dropping. So back to my point here about where the short bias comes from. TDI, short biased. EMAs, short biased. And yesterday, we were looking for shorts in here off the 50. It never presented clean. I didn't take an entry here. And it actually gave us a D1 entry here, which I missed off the 200 EMA. I missed it because I was honestly just unpacking from our trip from Jamaica, just trying to get my life back together, and I missed the entry. That created the short bias. That D1 entry falls, as you can see, like 40 pips yesterday. So overnight, last night, I'm watching price action as we go 7, 8 o'clock last night, and I'm seeing it still hold the 21 EMA, that red line right here. And I know how long it can hold the 21 EMA and fall. So when we broke for a new low a week, new low a day for the Tuesday price action, but also a new low a week, off the low of day here set yesterday, you see how the candle pushes off that price? That was really a strong indicator for me that we could see this come lower. We could see this hold the 8 and the 21 and still drop to the downside. So when it presented, it created a 6 or 7 pip stop for me. I think it's about 7 pips, we'll say. And that told me that I wanted to get at least 14 out of this, if not 21. So I set my take profit at, I think, like 28. And like I said, I woke up about 3 hours ago and I was able to close majority of this trade down here at about 21, 22 pips. All right, guys, it is 7:15, just about here, 3 minutes or so. As you can see, I am still in EuroCAD, up about 21 pips here. We had a nice pullback to the 50 EMA, I'm going to show you in a second, but now moving back in direction with the higher time frame trend moving lower. On top of that, Euro USD presented another entry for me here, a D1 entry that I'm treating as a separate trade. EuroCAD also presented another entry, but I didn't like the EuroCAD 15-minute as much as I liked the Euro USD 15-minute. So I still like my original EuroCAD entry. I like that my stop is locked in profit, but taking it one good trade at a time, I liked the Euro USD setup more than I liked the EuroCAD setup today. So as you can see, both trades are in profit. Euro USD just slightly, but EuroCAD about 18, 19 pips here. So let's take a look at TradingView. Let's take a look at the shorter time frame here on EuroCAD, and then we'll take a look at Euro USDY added into this trade. So the 1 minute here on EuroCAD, basically from when I woke up this morning, got to the desk, started to watch it, you can see it built divergence. You can see 405, 410, 415, it builds the RSI high, and then here 530 we set the price action high. So with price rising and the RSI falling, that's divergence. That can set up the opportunity for us to get more movement in direction of the higher time frame trend, because the bearish divergence, see how the divergence is coming down, that's bearish divergence, tells us that we would be short biased, and the higher time frames are also short biased, which is why I was short last night. So seeing this, you kind of get another confirmation that we might be getting pushed down as we go into 8 and maybe 9 o'clock, maybe hopefully 10 o'clock this morning. Now, going back to the higher time frame, you can see, again, I talked to you already about this, but just the trend was very clear to start the week. TDI was in the sell zone, EMAs are in a downtrend, prices moving lower. That was set on Friday, so it kind of got initiated Friday. Monday, it sets up the sells. Last night, we hit the sell, and then again today, I'm going to keep my eye on this to see if it comes down, and that's kind of why I added into Euro USD, because I have my confidence here in EuroCAD that Euro is going to come down, and then on top of that, you got the entry signal on Euro USD. So let's take a look here on the 15-minute. The first thing that I really don't love about this trade is the divergence. However, we know divergence can build for multiple days, and this thing will continue in that higher time frame trend, which here is very clearly short. So this divergence with the rising RSI falling price action tells me we might have some issues with more drop coming, but the TDI is still in the sell zone. Everything as far as EMAs also tells us to sell it. You see the 800 EMA is way up there. So everything there, short biased. Go to the 1 hour, same thing, TDI in the sell zone. Look at the last few days. You could have just been selling it off the 21 EMA every single time and you would have made money. That's how powerful this downtrend has been. 4 hours, same thing. Clearly, EMAs, TDI, sell zone. Daily time frame, same thing. TDI coming into the sell zone. zone EMAs in a downtrend. Look, we've been under the 800 EMA forever. And this goes back to the idea that I had last week when I called EuroCAD at the top. Remember, if we flip over to the daily time frame here on EuroCAD, remember, I was short up here off the 200 EMA last week. Go watch the EuroCAD replay. I'll link it right here, and I'll link it in the description. I want you guys to go see it. We called the top of this using the D2 entry. That's the entry that we teach in the divergence course. Now, that entry was easy to identify because of the entry signal in the D2 system, but also because we were at such a significant level of the 200 EMA. Every time it had been to the 200 here on the daily, it never broke it. You can see pin, couldn't get to it, couldn't get to it, couldn't get to it here. I don't think this is going to be the time that it's going to break. EMA say downtrend, TDI says downtrend, so that's why I was confident to short it there last week. Now that goes into, like I said, today's Euro USD idea. Look at how every time it hit that 200 EMA recently, it came down off of it. So here, there's nothing to say start buying it here just because you're at support. That is not the right way to trade. I would not buy it just because it bounced here last time. Everything here still says that this is coming lower. And now on the 15 minute, you can see we're moving even lower into profit a little bit more. So I'll pull up FX trade. I'm up 19 in EuroCAD. I'm up 3 in Euro USD. So the divergence on the 15 minute was really what I didn't like about this. But other than that, like I said, you got to hold the short bias. The 5 pip stop is a great place to find risk reward. And I'm going to look to first take it to this divergence trend line. That'll be the first area that I know that this could stop and bounce. So I'll take profit there. That'd be 2R. If I can get 2R on this thing, be a good trade, and then I'll continue to manage this one on EuroCAD. But if EuroCAD wants to, I think the only thing preventing it from possibly coming lower so far is the oversold. There's no divergence, there's nothing else. So oversold is not a reason that this won't come lower. And I still think if I can hold this in today, you'll see this come lower. So my stop's in a good piece. I have most of this trade closed, and I'm going to manage this and Euro USD together. So I appreciate you guys being here. It's a little bit after 7:15. I will be back in a little bit, and I'll update you guys on these trades. All right, guys, it is 8:06, almost 8:07. I just closed all of Euro USD. As you can see, I'm completely out of the trade. I just let everybody know in the VIP chat here. I was walking them through it photo by photo, basically, candle by candle, just showing them how I was reacting to it. Because once you see a setup present, it's very important to not try to forecast. You want to just take it candle by candle, close by close, 15 minute by 15 minute. So I walk everybody through it in the VIP chat. That way the new traders, if you join, that way you can understand what I'm thinking. So now, you remember my idea here on Euro USD was to take this thing short to the 15-minute divergence line. That was over 2R now that I pulled at 13, 12 pips. The 2R mark was the 10 pips, but it moved very quickly, so then I was able to pull here for a little bit more than 2R. That's why I got like 2.3 out of it. This is a great scalp. This is following the trend of the EuroCAD trade that we were in, and now, just bagging this winner, I can manage the EuroCAD trade with my stop and profit and let this one continue to fall because I think this has a little bit more gas in it. You can see this actually has more volume in it today than Euro USD, so I think this has potential to come lower, more so than Euro USD. So I'm going to take my win there. I hit Euro USD with good size, and now we'll manage this as the morning goes on. So it's 8:07. It's a really, really nice start to the week with these two winners, and the trend was very easy to identify. Yesterday we were short, so today you follow that trend if the indicators tell you it paints that way. So.